And we had this great debate, John Riley and I, last week about the playoffs. I think 12 teams is too many because we're going to wind up getting blowouts and there's going to be a lot of unhappy people. John Riley out in left field, his mic doesn't work today. That's why he can't participate. But John Riley's the opinion. Let them all in. Anyhow, so we have a 12-team playoff that will start this coming December. We understand that. They are now finalizing plans for 2026, a 14-team playoff. And what they're proposing, this year's playoff will be 5+7, 5 guaranteed slots for the conference champions, and then 7 at-large teams. And it's going to be based on the CFB football rankings. That's how they're going to pick the at-large teams. Well, now they're talking in 2026, guaranteed slots. They are talking, when they go to 14 teams, they're talking 3 guaranteed slots for the SEC, 3 for the Big Ten, 2 for the Atlantic Coast, 2 for the Big 12, and 1 for the best team in the group of 5, whether that's Mountain West, Mid-American Conference, whomever. 3 at-large teams would then be chosen to fill out the 14-team field. But they've said there's no limit as to how many can come from one conference, and we'll decide with our rankings who the 3 at-large teams are. So, heck, we could wind up having 5 SEC teams. So we could have 5 from the Big Ten. And at the end of the day, I think the small guy kind of gets screwed, whether that's San Diego State or that's Boise State. And they're also trying to determine who's going to play where. Their theory is first round, there are buys. First round, home field is great because they'll sell the stadium out and that'll generate more money. I maintain, John Riley disagrees with me, again from left field, I maintain home games, first round, screw the bowls. The Holiday Bowl, Boise Bowl, Citrus Bowl, the bowls that have nice tradition, do a lot in their community, they're not going to be part of this mix. I maintain the first round games should be placed at the second tier bowl games to give them a big payday because they're not going to have marquee teams to go get. So that's my opinion in the anchor's chair. My co-host is out in left field. He's got his opinion, and Coach Kentera says,
I think 14 teams in 2026 is too many for me. If you want to go 12 and the first 4 teams get a bye, like they're talking, I'm fine with that. If they weren't going to do that, then just have 8 teams, because I think 8's more than enough, to be honest with you. Okay. As far as I think the first round needs to be at home, because you can only ask fans to travel so many times, and people, they're hoping their team can get to the finals, and wherever the finals is that year, they want to be able to go. You can't ask them to travel 1 or 2 or 3 weeks in a row, or 3 out of 4 weeks. That's unfair. If they could find a way to make the bowls more important to where players actually want to play, and I think by having the playoffs, Lee, I think you're going to see less guys opt out like we did this year. If you're not in one of the top 4 slots, I mean, guys were opting out right and left. Yeah. I mean, I give USC a lot of credit at the Holiday Bowl. You could tell. I remember sitting next to Rick Garrettson, who coaches high school football in Arizona. I go, man, Rick, SC really came to play. They were ready for that bowl game. They wanted to show that they were more than just Caleb Williams, and they played a great game.
And they didn't have their quarterback, their top 2 running backs, their top 2 wide receivers all sat out.
Yeah, Miller Moss came in, did a great job, but more than anything else, it would really value the bowl game. So many of these bowl games now have been devalued.
Oh, yeah.
If you could find a way to go the direction you're talking, it would be absolutely fantastic. But again, you can't ask your fans to travel 2 or 3 weekends. I mean, a lot of people don't have that kind of money.
Okay. Those are topics on the table. John Riley, grab that mic. You got something you want to add to this conversation here? Because you've sat here and watched from left field.
Yeah, I know. I'm playing producer today. But I'm a big fan of 32. I want to wide open this thing up.
This guy is hooked emotionally to March Madness.
You can only have players play so many games in a season.
Yeah, well, maybe you have to adjust some things. But
they do have to go to class, even though nobody ever talks about that anymore. You got to actually go to school.
Well, I love the March Madness format. I love giving smaller schools opportunities. I love seeing big upsets. And why not? Right now we have a 2-tiered system, where you've got the group of 5, or the group of 5 and the power 5. And I'd like to see them more intermingled.
Well, the unfortunate thing, with the NIL, the group of 5 become a nice farm system for the
Exactly.
Power 5.
Everybody cherry picks everybody.
Yep.
Now that might change a year from now. Once the new director of the NCAA gets his deal done with Congress, that may change.
I'm not going to hold my breath on that.
I know. Again, John Riley said, "Oh, the government's going to get involved. How's the post office worked out?"
Yeah, that's not.
So, okay, it's time for fans